This week we'll talk more about my hair. So last week we talked about my curl pattern. This week I'm talking about the porosity of my hair. So I think I have high porosity here. So what is high porosity here? High porosity is where your hair strands absorb moisture easily and it releases, so moisture evaporates easily from your hair strand. So what causes high porosity, or who has high porosity? There is three categories, mainly two, that why people have high porosity here. The first category is you're born with it. So similar to me, I don't chemically treat my hair, or so my strands are just normally high porosity. The other category of what causes your strand to be more high porosity is chemical hair treatment. So that's include dyeing your hair, chemically relaxing your hair, chemically perming your hair to make it straight. So any kind of chemical hair treatment can cause your hair to become high porosity. The third category that can cause your hair to become high porosity is physical damage. So when we talk about physical damage, we talk about high heat use, high chemical, brushing your hair excessively. So it's physical damage to the hair strands. So in order to talk about high porosity here versus, I should say what the opposite of high porosity here is. The opposite obviously is low porosity. Low porosity here is where it's hard for moisture to get into your strand. And when moisture does get into your strands, it's hard for moisture to leave. So low porosity here, it takes warm water to get it wet, and when it gets wet, it takes a long time to dry because the strands are closed. Your strands are not closed like locked, so things can get into it. It's just more difficult to get in. While high porosity, the strands are a little bit raised, so things can get in easily, but they can leave just as easily. So when we talk about high porosity and low porosity here, I have to do some explanation. And so let's talk about your hair, and specifically sebum and your hair's porosity. Everybody has sebaceous glands, and these glands produce it produces this thin acid layer called the acid mantle on skin. So these sebaceous glands, they produce sebum. Why do you care about sebum? Because your scalp is skin. So just like your face produces the acid, it produces called the acid mantle. And the reason why there is any kind of sebum production, or reason why your sebaceous gland produces sebum, is so that it stops bacteria and other things from affecting your skin. So your skin is slightly acidic so that it stops bacteria growth or any microbes from growing on your skin. So go back to here. Now your skin, under your skin, there's sebaceous glands, and those sebaceous glands produce sebum. So that sebum is made up of triglycerides, wax esters, I'm reading this from my notes, squalene, free fatty acid, cholesterol esters, and diglyceride. So this sebum that is on your skin, on your scalp. So basically, our skin, this acid mantle on our skin, so the sebum that our sebaceous gland produce is acidic. So why am I talking acidity and why am I talking my high porosity here? Because my hair is high porosity, moisture goes in, moisture goes out. Also, because my hair is 4C, when I wash my hair and I strip, the shampoo strips the sebum off my scalp, it never gets a chance to coat my high porosity hair because my hair is 4C and I don't run my fingers through my hair to the oils on my finger get spread throughout my hair. I don't brush my hair to once I wash it to get it all the way to the sebum all the way to the ends. So instead, what I do is, as a curly hair natural, I make sure that I look up the best oils and butters that has the most minerals and vitamin good for the hair, and I make sure that whenever I do have to wash my hair and I strip the sebum that has all the goodness, I put it back on in forms of butters and oils. The other thing I do, instead of completely stripping my hair of the natural oils, because the oils, like on my face, my skin is oily. This oil, it doesn't get to travel down the length of my hair. So not only do I add, whenever I wash my hair, I add butters and oils like olive oil and coconut oil. I add butters and oil to my strands. Not only do I do this, but I also ensure that any product that I'm using on my high porosity hair, the pH is in that range that my hair is comfortable. So like I said, or hair or scalp's pH is anywhere from 3.67 to 5.5. Google it. They said the hair is comfortable at 4.5 to 5.5, and others said that the scalp pH is at 3.7. So I try to keep my hair products in that range. What do I mean? What is pH, you ask? pH is the potential or the power of hydrogen. So it measures how much hydrogen is in a liquid. Water is balanced, so the pH scale is 0 to 14. Is the potential or the power of hydrogen. So it measures how much hydrogen is in a liquid. Water is balanced at 7, and my scalp and my hair is 4.5 to be conservative to 5.5, while water is at 7. So whenever I use any kind of shampoos, any kind of conditioner, because I have high porosity hair, that means my cuticles is already open when it's in the comfortable pH at 4.5 and 5. And if I move the pH up to 7, which is water, it's gonna open my strands more. So in preparation for water, before I wash my hair, I make sure that I pre-poo, which is I prepare my hair for shampooing and for washing. So I do regimen that's going to protect my hair so that when it's comfortable in a 4.5, and when it swings to a 7 for water, it doesn't cause too much damage. So what do you do to prepare my high porosity hair so it doesn't get damaged, like it doesn't suck up the water at 7? Before I wash my hair, I use coconut oil, and I pre-poo with coconut oil. So I take some coconut oil, rub it all over, put it on my scalp, put it on my hair, and so when I go to wash my hair and the water hits it and my hair tries to absorb water, it won't absorb too much water because it's already coated with oil. So I will leave you with this. If you have high porosity hair like myself, your strands are generally the strands, your cuticles are open or slightly raised. So, and if you have low porosity hair, your cuticle is mostly closed. And so, if you do a chemical treatment, and chemical treatment is like a dye. So a dye is whenever you go to the hair salon and they say you need to dye your hair, they're gonna put a chemical that has a pH of 11, 12, and that pH causes your hair to open up, the strands to open up, so that the dye can get deposited into your hair strand, so your hair can take on that color. And when they finish raising your cuticle, they do a solution to close the cuticle. But because your hair, it will never go back to the original state, after the dyeing, your cuticle is slightly raised. And so now you're similar to me, who naturally has slightly raised cuticle, but because of a dyeing process or any chemical treatment, because most chemical treatment, in order, not, I want to say all, but in order to change your hair strand, they usually go in with a very alkaline treatment. So it forces the cuticle to open, and they either deposit color into the strand, or they change the structure of the strand to either make it straight or curly, but they need to open the strand, the cuticles first. And when they put the solution to close the cuticle back, it never go back to your virgin hair. And so some people will get high porosity hair just because they had chemical treatment done. Some people will get high porosity hair because they use a lot of straightening. But I will leave you with this. If you have high porosity hair because you have chemically damaged it, or you have physically damaged it, one of the things you look for in products is you make sure you look for products, because the manufacturers, they know more than I do, or I think they have professionals working with them. So you're gonna look for products. If you're naturally high porosity, you're gonna look for product that says for chemically treated hair, for damaged hair. And the reason why you want to look for these products is because their pH tend to not be as high as everyone else, every other shampoo or conditioner. Because for most people, and they're going to be looking for shampoos, they're going to be low porosity, so their cuticles are relatively closed. So they're going to be looking for shampoos and conditioners that is a little bit higher, that they're going to open the cuticle, get rid of all the sebum that's on the hair, so the wax and stuff that your oil produce, or get rid of whatever oil you put on. So they're looking for something that's going to lift their cuticle, get the stuff out. When you have high porosity hair, you're not looking for something harsh that's going to lift the cuticle. It's already lifted. So what you're looking for is something that keeps the cuticle, so it's lower pH, keep the cuticle a little closed, so that you're not robbing your strands of their natural oil and moisture. So your 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 products should be low in pH. The water that you use to wash your hair, so you wash your hair with warm water, and right before you leave the shower, after you finish washing your hair, you use a blast of cool water, because heat opens your cuticle and cold temperature contracts your cuticle. So right after you finish washing your hair, you're going to give your hair a blast of cold water, and it's going to close your cuticle because your cuticle is slightly raised anyways. You're going to try and get it a little closer. So the other thing that I do, my high porosity hair, I look for products with low pH. I use a blast of cool water when I'm finished washing my hair with the low pH products, so that my cuticle will get closed because of the cool temperature. And I layer thick greases and butters on my hair, because by coating my strands with oils and butter, it blocks the release of moisture from my hair. Well, if you are low pH, what would you do? The complete opposite of high pH hair. You're going to wash your hair with warm water, not hot water, because that will cause damage. Remember, too much heat causes your strand damage. You don't want to cook your strand. So you're going to wash your hair with warm water. It's going to open the strand. You're going to wash your hair with probably regular shampoo, still open the strand. And you're going to, if you can use cold water to close the strand, but they're naturally going to close themselves. So you basically do the opposite of what I do. Hopefully this video was helpful. Hopefully I will go into more and show you my regimen on later videos, like what exact products I use on my high porosity hair. But this video was just to let you know that my hair, not only is it 4C, 4a-4c, it's also high porosity. Thank you for watching, and take care of yourself.